In 1666, just a few years after Garrick invented the friction electric machine, Stephen Gray was born into a family of dyers in Kent, England. As a young boy, Gray had a deep fascination with science. But due to his family's financial struggles, he was forced to leave school early and apprentice with his father in a dyeing workshop. At the time, science was a luxury, mainly pursued by the noble or wealthy classes. But Gray's thirst for knowledge never waned. He taught himself, befriended influential people, and took advantage of every opportunity to visit libraries or personal laboratories of his acquaintances. One of his greatest passions was studying light and celestial phenomena, which led him to become an assistant to the renowned astronomer John Flamsteed, helping him with his astronomical observations. However, Gray's career was not smooth. A dispute between Flamsteed and Sir Isaac Newton caused Gray to be seen as an ally of Flamsteed, and as a result, Newton distanced himself from Gray. Forced into this factional struggle, Gray returned to work in the dyeing workshop. Despite the setbacks, life was not done with him yet. A series of unfortunate events and health issues forced him to move to the Carthusian monastery, where he lived the rest of his life in poverty and relative obscurity. What no one could have foreseen was that, in the quiet solitude of the monastery, Gray would begin a new chapter in his scientific journey. One night, while experimenting with glass tubes and friction to generate electricity, he noticed something strange. When rubbing the glass tube, he found that not only the tube but also a cork, which he hadn't rubbed, became electrically charged. Thinking he might be seeing things, he repeated the experiment and found that the cork, despite not being rubbed, attracted small paper fragments. This discovery opened up a new path for Gray. Gray continued his experiments with different materials. He discovered that electricity wasn't a stationary force, it could travel through certain substances. He began conducting experiments by extending a wooden rod into the cork and attaching it to an ivory ball. This time, not only the glass tube but also the cork and ivory ball became electrically charged and attracted small objects. Electricity can travel through materials, he realized with excitement. Gray didn't stop there. He and his friend, Reverend Granville Weller, expanded the experiment, conducting electricity over a distance of 230 meters. They discovered that the wire had to be carefully suspended to prevent the electricity from leaking. This breakthrough helped Gray differentiate between conductive materials and insulators. Materials like metals could conduct electricity, while others like wood or rope couldn't. Gray's findings quickly attracted the attention of the scientific community, both in Britain and abroad. Charles François de Sistine-Dufay, a French scientist, began conducting his own experiments based on Gray's work, developing a new theory about amber and glass electricity. His research began to provide answers to the long-standing question of why materials like amber could both attract and repel feathers. Ultimately, the discoveries made by Gray and Dufay answered one of the most puzzling scientific questions of the time: Electricity not only existed but could also travel through different materials, opening the door to a new era of electrical research and physics. Stephen Gray's entire life, from a poor dyer to a great scientist, proved that sometimes passion and a relentless thirst for discovery can take one further than they ever imagined. And thus, after many years, the mystery of the feathers was finally solved, thanks to the unyielding dedication and passion of Stephen Gray.